trips, I had to go and get a passport. I'm just trying to live, I don't know what these mad for. I just signed a deal and got a really big bag for it. You still at your mama crib, ain't getting money, you gotta ask for it. Tired of complaining, I gotta bitch change my situation. Looking at the view outside, I thought I would never make it. Every day they pay, but that don't stop the money making. If you want it, go and take it, ain't no point in hesitating. I don't wanna be on the ground when the time flies. Had so many friends go, I wonder when it's my time. I live every day like I'll die by the nighttime. It took me so long getting back to my right mind. I don't wanna be on the ground when the time flies. Had so many friends go, I wonder when it's my time. I live every day like I'll die by the nighttime. It took me so long getting back to my right mind.
Move the chains, tell them get up out the way. Move the chains, I'm about to win the game. Move the chains, baby, tell them move the chains. I score up in the end zone, do my dance all on a hater. A mover and a shaker, you a novice, I'm a player. I'm from DC, but I'm running through and sacking like a raider. 2 chains on my neck, one for now and one for later. If we don't play fair, baby, we play for keeps. You can pass me up, this is not a bye week. I'm looking for a trophy competition, looking steep. Yeah, I'm training, I've been focused, I've been bombing from the deep. I'm like, move the chains, I'm about to make a play. Move the chains, tell them get up out the way. Move the chains, I'm about to win the game. Move the chains, baby, tell them move the chains. Move the needle for the city like the championships. All my records go hard, this a champion hit. I've been working for this moment like I've been in the gym. Jumping all over hurdles, I'm evading the pit. Hit to hit with anybody, take them, I can shake them. I invite them to the fire, then I bake them, I'ma break them. I'm a Hall of Fame legend, they should go and hang my jersey. Made to put in work, I don't think they really heard me like. Move the chains, I'm about to make a play. Move the chains, tell them get up out the way. Move the chains, I'm about to win the game. Move the chains, baby, tell them move the chains. Ain't no stopping me, ain't no topping me. I am up, #1 seed, ain't nobody popping up. Got a squad of gorillas from the jungle suited up. You kicking off against me, hope you ready, get it up. I be booted up, popping out a Sprinter or a truck. Whole team chasing bags while they chasing us. Calling audible, I read the game, I think it's time to switch. You get hit, if I miss, then my teammates got the blitz, yeah. Move the chains, I'm about to make a play. Move the chains, tell them get up out the way. Move the chains, I'm about to win the game. Move the chains, baby, tell them move the chains.
With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our 2 quarterbacks, certainly 2 of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Here's the kicker, Zane Gonzalez, ready to get this one started. And off we go in Madden Ultimate Team. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20.
Let's go now. Get the flag. What, tight end? 3 down. 3 down. Motion. 89. Watch 89.
Stepping up, he's going to keep it. He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play. It's 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And now the Raven defense going to call a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
Let's go.
This time they'll throw it with Vic. He'll get this one into the hands of Lewis. This will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
43 is the mic. 43 is the mic.
On third down, Vic. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down. So the defense able to get off the field here on third down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on third down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
Okay, look at this. The punt team nowhere to be found. They're on the sidelines. Offense going to go for this on the opening drive. He didn't seem in a rush. I guess they just didn't know where the play clock was.
I think you're right about that because there was no hurried movements there, right? No up-tempo at all. Clock just ran out. I think he was as surprised as maybe his bench was.
And it appears they'll go for it here on 4th down. A big call on the game's opening drive. They will indeed go for it. Vic. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. The defensive end, Daniil Hunter, drops him.
I don't know why you would do that. It's almost guaranteed points the other way. I mean, I get it if it's a late game situation, maybe even 4th and inches. But, boy, that's a huge risk to take.
Yeah, now they're set up in prime position going the other way. Breaking the huddle, 1st and goal as the return team has set them up with golden field position. They'll try and run. This is Johnson. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. A 9-yard touchdown run as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Gonzalez good on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Now after the touchdown, here's Gonzalez on to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave him great field position, turned into 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit of it, but it showed.
And that's caught inside the 35. And he makes it all the way down to the 31. And what a big-time play there. 54 yards. So how about this for a change in field position? From inside the 10, here's 1st down on the other side of the field.
3 down, 3 down.
Now a give, right side. Peyton, and that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. A good response by the defense, sending them backwards after that huge gain last play.
Here we go. 3 to Pittsburgh. 43. Let's get it together, defense. Let's get it together.
They just get the play off. Now Vic. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Aaron Donald with a sack.
Well, nothing takes a start to have a good drive quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. He didn't even try to signal for a timeout, so they must have not been aware of the numbers.
I think he lost track of the time left in the play clock and probably was trying to read the defense and trying to figure out which play to run and just lost track, and it cost him.
3rd and long for Vic. And the throw there going to be incomplete. That makes them now 0 for 2 here in the 1st quarter on 3rd down conversions.
And now they'll look to their defense because they need them to step up so they don't fall further behind here in the early going.
Now remember, they were unsuccessful earlier in this 1st quarter. Going for it on 4th. They're going to try a 2nd time. They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Aaron Donald, and that will force a turnover on downs.
On the double. Hey, exit. Check 52's the mic. Check 52's the mic.
Play action. Manning. That's complete. Terry McLaurin with it. And they do finally get him, but he makes it all the way to the 6. A big play that time for the Ravens. And even 40 yards.
1st and goal at the 6-yard line.
Now a chance to make that big play really hurt. It's 1st and goal just outside the 5. He gets this one to Johnson. And he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down. On 2nd and goal, Manning. Green brings it in. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Only 3 yards there on the completion. That'll lead to a 3rd and goal. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. A big play to start the drive got him in this position, but this defense has held firm since, and now it's 3rd and goal. On 3rd down, it's Green, and they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the 1st. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to bring up a 4th and goal. Defense didn't budge on 3rd down. Now what are we going to see on 4th?
We are soon to find out, but does this feel like old school football or what?
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
This is an old-fashioned goal line stand. I know what I would call on offense. I would go for it. I want some type of a play where my quarterback has a chance to run it or throw it. I don't just want one static play.
After the field goal, here's Gonzalez to kick it off. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And not a great return here. He'll make it back only to the 10-yard line.
Anytime you feel the kickoff inside your own end zone, you've got to be decisive about whether you're bringing it out or not. Sometimes that indecision can really cost you. That may have been what happened on that play.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
The throw on second down from Vic, incomplete. Walter Payton, the intended receiver, and it's third down. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better, got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They've got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
Vic readies to throw. And he's going to go down right near the goal line. The officials look at each other. They're going to mark him at the 1-yard line. And whistle blown. A timeout here is taken, and it's taken by the kicking team. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. The offense stays put. They failed twice already in this first half, but they're going to go a third time here on fourth down.
Watch 23.
They'll try and throw for it here. And they're going to sack him again. The 5th time they've gotten him today, and this one results in a safety. And you know, the man who sat in my chair the last few years, he has a theory. These plays, these safeties, they're so rare. Maybe they should be worth more than 2, maybe 4 points.
I think he's got a great point. I really do, Brandon. But I would go ahead and up it to 6. I'm a former defender.
Ooh.
To me, that's like scoring a touchdown.
Easy now. I'll go 4. I don't know about 6.
Come on. Come up to 6.
A lot of points. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's
nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now second down and 22 yards to go. Now a nice throw here right side. He hauls it in. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
First and 10 at the 44-yard line.
Ready. Hey, try 7.
Now a play fake. Manning. Looking for McLaurin, and he's got him. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Manning now on first down. And this is caught by Chris Johnson. They'll get a couple yards on that one, and that'll make this a second down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll pay a visit to Jonathan Coachman. He's in Orlando, and he'll have our EA Sports halftime report. On second down, Johnson. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up third down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
To throw, it's Manning. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. Like a freight train off the edge, Calais Campbell with a sack.
Zane Gonzalez on for the field goal.
And this one is right down the middle. And the lead extends. It's 15-0. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
Working out of the gun, Michael Vick. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Aaron Donald getting him once again his third sack of the afternoon.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
On second down now. Peyton, fighting off the defender. Well, that gives him a little room, but not much. A gain of 2 to the 5.
He's definitely tough to get down. We just saw it right there. But how about what we did see? Pursuit, wrap up, and then the big finish with the tackle.
Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on third down. From the shotgun, it's Vick. He's going to let this one go deep. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty. And it's fourth down.
Well, partner, they're not content to run this one out as we head towards the half, trying to hit a big chunk play right there and add to their score.
Yeah, this is a confident group. At the very least, they're thinking field goal.
Yeah, and I don't blame them one bit. I don't think you sit on the ball going into the half when you have a chance to put some more points on the board.
And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it. Now here's Vick looking deep downfield. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And goodness, that means this next drive is going to begin first and goal already at the 5-yard line. Now, this is a nice little gift wrap situation as they take over first and goal. Flag comes in. This might be a free play. And this one drops incomplete, but I think the defense jumped. And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
Following the penalty, it's Johnson. And he will take it in for a Ravens touchdown. Chris Johnson, as the first half is winding down, as the Ravens push further out in front.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Now after the touchdown, here's Gonzalez on to kick it away.
They'll take over. Let's go. First down and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30.
Wild Bill. Short. Rush in.
Vick now. Flush to his right. And a diving grab. I think he got that. Yes. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
Complete to Randy Moss. First and 10 at the 49-yard line.
Vick will look to throw on first down. And a big loss here as he's taken down. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. They don't want to repeat a first down. They'll keep it on the ground. And this will go as a short gain on what will be the final act of this first half. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. And how about this right out of the locker room, an onside kick attempt. The Ravens ready to receive it, and they've got the lead as well as we resume play in the second half. A very interesting call and one that backfires. I know they're losing, Charles, but boy, to start the second half with the onside kick, risky.
Felt like a sense of urgency from their side, coupled with, you and I both know the special teams coordinators. They sell their key plays each and every week to the head coach, don't they? And I'll guarantee he's been selling this one. We can get it, Coach. We can get it. And that came together with that sense of urgency you talked about.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Manning slings this deep into a double team, and it's intercepted. It's Devin White, the linebacker. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. They needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the third quarter. Defensively, they did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break, taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys,
let's go.
Come on, capitalize on this one.
So here's Vic following the interception. And Lewis has it, the tight end. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Here's Michael Vick. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line.
When you lose that kind of yardage on a pass play, you often expect it to be a sack. But that wasn't the case there. They completed the pass. Probably would have been better off just dropping the football and making an incompletion as opposed to catching it and losing that kind of yardage.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. From the gun, Vic. And that is incomplete. Another drive comes and goes. Still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. But you just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
Despite being 0 for 4 converting these so far, I guess you're going to say 5th time's the charm. They're going again on 4th down. And he won't get there. They stop him a few yards short of the line to gain. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Ravens get the football back and in great shape. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. This defense trying to do its part, active hands on that play, but their offense hasn't given them much to work with.
So they're not going to worry about it. On their side of the ball, all they're concerned about, can they create some scoring opportunities and help out that offense?
Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. On the ground, this is Johnson. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll leave them with a 3rd down and 6 to go.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Throwing is Manning on 3rd down. And almost picked off. I guess the good news for them now, it's 4th down.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
And they're going to at least line up to go for it here on 4th down.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you. Go. Let blow. Hey, wahoo. Now.
They'll go for it. It's Manning. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Nickel Roby-Coleman. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Oh, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
It's a loss of a yard there, and it's second down. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Out of his end zone, here's Vick. He'll get this complete to Walter Payton. And he's able to get this one up to the 8-yard line this time. They'll give him 8 on the play, and that'll make it third down. From the gun, Vick. And that will be incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on third down.
They'll break the huddle here and go for it. This is fourth down.
3 down, 3 down. Alert 3, alert 3. Alert 3. Exit. Switch. Go. Hurry.
They will indeed go for it. Vick, and he's going to be taken down. Sacked back at the 2. Jalen Smith. And, boy, that means this next drive is going to start at the 3-yard line. And what can they do here on 2nd and goal? 3 red zone trips so far have yielded 2 touchdowns and a field goal. So after the INT, it's Manning. Got a man, it's caught for a Ravens touchdown. Terrell Owens there to make the grab as the Ravens push further out in front. Gonzalez able to tack on the PAT, and that'll push the lead up to 29 now.
Visitors, nothing. Zane Gonzalez set to kick off.
Now after the touchdown, here's Gonzalez on to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he will take it back only to about the 13-yard line here.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
They'll run on first down. Payton, and they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. Call it a loss of 6 on the play, and it'll make this a 2nd and long.
Watch tight end. Tight end's right. Tight end's right.
Operating from the gun, Vick. Now he'll let it go deep right side. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary, it really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
The keeper there turning into a big play of 23 yards, and it moves the sticks. Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10. This time they'll throw it with Vick. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jalen Smith able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his 3rd sack of the afternoon. Now Vick stripped. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with...
Is this intercepted? It is. It's intercepted. Picked off by Deion Sanders. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks.
Watch the screen.
They stay on the ground on first with Johnson. Chris Johnson in a foot race, and they will not catch him. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Chris Johnson, 37 yards, as his guys continue to pour it on. Gonzalez good on the extra point. Back now at Soldier Field, where the fourth quarter will begin with a kickoff following the score on the final play of the third quarter. Gonzalez now to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he will take it back only to about the 13-yard line here.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. From the gun, Vick. He'll get this one into the hands of Lewis. Brings it just past the 15, able to avoid the initial contact, but not much more there on the play. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Vick to throw it, eluding the pressure right. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
Their already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down. On 4th down, Vick. Man open, it's Moss complete. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out.
Here we go.
Vick now has hit on 7 of 17 passes, just 41%, but it's 1st and 10. They'll try the left side. Peyton. Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. Another carry, same story. 4th quarter, and he is in red numbers right now with a running game.
Hard to believe because you figure at some point you break off a run. But in this case, what we're seeing is just pure domination by the defense. I think it started with the scouting report. They got into what they were doing offensively, into their mindset, and now they're beating them to the punch on every snap.
So it's our visitors with a football as we get you reset. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. Throwing on 2nd down, Vick. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen. despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion. Operating from the gun. Vick, escape, and a big loss here as he's taken down. The Stork, Hall of Famer Ted Hendricks, picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
Tight end's right. Alert, alert. 3 down, 3 down.
Boy, and now they can't even get a playoff. So that'll back them up 5. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out.
3 down, 3 down. He's coming, he's coming, he's coming.
On 4th down, Vick. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Jalen Smith. And now, goodness, possession's going to go over right at the 10-yard line.
You ready? The mic right here, over there, right? 52's the mic. Time to go, night, night.
Manning looking to throw it. And he's going to be taken down, sacked back around the 18-yard line. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. Manning now to throw. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Kelsey, the intended receiver there. Now they get a 4th quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other, but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. On 1st down, Peyton. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Come on, QB, come on.
Vick readies to throw. They set up the screen to Peyton. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. It's a 6-yard loss on the play. And that'll make it 3rd and 13.
Come on, set, and read. Man left, man left. Hey, we got 3.
From the gun, Vick. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Stork, Hall of Famer Ted Hendricks, getting him once again his 3rd sack of the afternoon. So they're going to come to the line here, and it appears try to go for it on 4th. On 4th down, Vick. That'll be caught by Hester. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. And now we're going to get a timeout. Somewhat pointlessly called with 3 seconds to go in a game that's already been decided. To throw, Vick. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. So the final seconds tick away in this Baltimore victory. And I tell you what, Charles.